life, you know? And so I said, well, God, if it's not now, then I know you want me unapologetically as the image you have created me to be. Cool. So I told my coach that day, I said, I don't care what you say. If I return to a stage, because I didn't even know if I was going to do a pageant. I said, but if I return to a stage, you won't see a wig on my head.
What is up, everybody? It is your girl, Amber Gardner, and this is another live episode of Bigger Than Me, the podcast, where we know our victory is what? Bigger than our fears. Y'all already know. It feels so good to be back in front of you all live. Y'all cannot understand how much I miss the essence and the feeling of a live broadcast. There is nothing, and I do mean nothing in this world like it. It feels as good as Sunday morning breakfast or a good dinner, a good low vibrational plate after Sunday service. I ain't gonna go there right now, y'all. I talked about it on my TikTok, and it's gonna be coming on the IG in a minute. We might even do a little bonus episode, but I ain't gonna do it right now. First, what I want to ask you is please get ready, because you are in for a magnificent treat, okay? We have an amazing guest coming on today. Somebody that I know personally, and I'm honored to know personally. I've seen her grace. I've seen her move through different things and really open doors in places that a lot of people thought were shut for us. And that is why I'm so honored to have her here to speak on her experiences, to speak on her platform, and to speak on her journey. We have with us on today Miss Connor Milan, and I am about to actually add a week. Miss North America 2022. I knew people in high places. Yeah, she got the crown and everything. We love to see it. Yes, you got to come in with your crown, right?
Yes, listen, I forget I have it sometimes.
I don't know how you forget that, but okay. That's no problem at all. Oh my goodness. It is so good to see you. You look beautiful. It's been a long time.
It has.
Time is catching up with us. We're going to be 30 in a few years. Can you believe it?
Yeah. 5 years out of Hampton. That's enough to process.
Exactly. Please. I be seeing these different young stuff at Hampton. I'm like, see, we ain't had no Starbucks when I was there. We had the calf and we had our Keurig. So y'all are blessed. Okay. You know,
right.
That. But it is so good to see you. So just to give the people that are watching a feel of today's episode, as I said, we are bringing forth one of people I'm honored to know personally. It's always good to know people in high places, y'all. You know, keep them bridges open. You never know who you know, what they gonna do. You could be talking, you know, to the next MLK or something for all you know. You never honestly know what's gonna happen. You know, God has a way of, you know, pulling the doozy on you. But I wanted to have her today just to speak on her journey, her platform, and really just be able to bring light to a situation and a topic that I don't think we talk about enough in the Black community and communities of color, but also in the Christian community. It doesn't come up very often, and I think that's a very big problem. But before we get into the deep stuff and, you know, get folk, you know, thinking about calling up, you know, their counselors and stuff, we're going to start off with some lighter notes. Miss Milan, Connor, please tell the people who you are, where you're from, and we can go from there.
Alrighty. Well, hello, everyone. I am Connor Milan Hancock, the reigning Miss North America. Woo! That's quite a bit. But outside of that, a lot of people just see a title. I'm clearly a human being. I'm a mental health awareness and suicide prevention advocate, Hampton University class of 2017. Here's where the little curveball goes. I studied music education and performance. And in 2016, I battled major depression. And that got me into pageantry. Outside of that, I moved on. And because I felt that flaring up again, and burnout was at an all-time high in the realm of education, I quit my job. to care for myself and show others that this is what life is about, finding what helps you live. I quit my job in June. Well, no, let me backtrack. Black Rain, thanks, bestie girl. I accomplished a big dream of mine, joining the devastating divas of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. That happened in April. Quit my job in June. I won Miss North America in July. When I tell you, God works in miraculous ways, okay? I am a licensed minister. My master's is in pastoral counseling and life coaching. So it all turned around. But
Minister Milan, I'm gonna have to remember that. Like,
right. I am proud to be an example of when you felt that your life really had a period, like it was over. Again, I dreamed of being a music educator. And I'm not saying I reached the mountaintop quickly, but in 2022, I came in Who's Who in 2022 for music educators. I did what I thought I wanted to do, but didn't realize God still had more for me. And so where I thought it was a period, I'm now living as an example of there being more and being patient enough to figure out what that more is.
that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And I love the fact of, I feel like we as people, especially as us as believers that, actively practice, believing, uh, they cutting up in the comments. I like that.
Always
Minister, Miss North, Black Rain America. You cutting up in my comments. Those that are watching, please feel free to share this with others that you think can benefit from this live moment. We want to spread this message of being able to take care of yourself, but also allowing God to take care of you and getting your mental health. We want to spread this message to everybody. So share it with whoever you can. But back to what I was saying, the fact of, I feel like sometimes we as practicing believers, we have a tendency to put God in a box. We have a dream and we have a vision, and we really can't see God moving outside of that dream and that vision. So we put him like in this nice little box, we might say, okay, I want to teach. I want a husband, couple children. If you're a man, I want a wife, couple children, and that's it. And God might have for you, you know what? I want you to be a best-selling author. I want you to be a world-class speaker. I want you to have your own business. I want you to be an influencer. Maybe I want you to be a counselor. I want you to maybe be a coach, a principal. But he has other things for us, but we have what we think we can accomplish.
Right.
And a lot of times I feel like we have to learn to step out of God's way, and instead of going, I'm unqualified, realize he does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Right.
It does not work that way. And I love to see the fact that you did that. Minister Milan, see, y'all gonna have to stop becoming ministers between you, Michael, Diamond, Steven.
Well, if you think about it, they came to Hampton already in the
fold. They did. They came licensed up.
Some little, I guess, like unknown fact about it. I was a minister in training. I was starting my journey while I was at Hampton.
Okay.
And then depression hit.
Everything he slick.
Everything stopped. I mean, 2015, 2016, everything stopped for me. But most people wouldn't have known that. I think those closest to me, my big, I know we have villages of bigs, but one was aware. She was nowhere near, but she knew and would not miss a beat. Shout out to my girl Marley.
You talking Marley Cole?
Yeah.
Marley Cole. Okay, now we got to give Marley her love. That is somebody that rocks with you no matter what. We got to give Marley her love.
Marley, and then P, as many people know, Paige. If I didn't have those two, like those are the only people who really knew what was going on. I think friendships in general, a lot of times with mental health or mental illness, when you are not well, that is when friendships and relationships go through the ringer. Yes. And so I know now in adulthood, having lost a friendship in adulthood, that your mental health can really make a friendship disappear.
That's true.
Um, your relationships, it makes dating challenging, all these other things. But in that time, especially the stigma, at the time, we had already lost our classmate, who was best friends with my roommate at the time.
Ooh.
So it was quite a bit, and I was already helping. I had mentees and littles who were battling mental health challenges, and I knew how to help them. I did not know how to help myself. And so I just knew how to keep busy. When I felt myself running late to rehearsals, and I don't know if y'all know how big rehearsals are to me. I will talk about you if you're late. That's
You will.
Yeah, I will.
She
and I'm
will.
gonna let you know. You didn't know rehearsal was at 5:30. I set your alarm for it. That's usually me. But my tell symptom was the lack of, I was losing my fire for things I loved. So I couldn't even get up to get to rehearsal on time. I didn't even know until recently that Mr. Dickinson could tell. I had no idea. He knew.
Well, Mr.
Before
Dickinson
I
sees
knew.
everything.
Yes, I had no
He
idea.
don't
I'm
miss
just,
nothing.
getting to where I could. But I hit a wall. I had a heartbreak. The Delta Dream was 6 years deep, and I worked hard. I didn't see why God didn't let it happen to me first time. But when I didn't make line that first time, depression hit me like nobody's business. People still ask me, Connor, how you not? It's not my choice. I just wasn't selected. But it takes time and understanding of not being on that side to know that it was God's choice, not man.
Exactly.
And if he gave me everything I wanted when I wanted it, where would he get the glory? Where would my faith get stronger? You know what I mean?
All right,
So,
Minister. You better preach on my live.
Right. This year has definitely, it's just been a testimony year. You caught me in my testimony year. Because even in pageantry, I started out of that battle of major depression. First real heartbreak, first breakup. I wasn't gonna graduate on time. Couldn't afford to be at the school. Didn't make line. Like all these things of the image I thought was working for me.
I feel you. I do.
Classes just stopped working for me. I was like, what is happening? Everything felt like it was in shambles, but it was really God stripping away where it would have been I instead of we,
exactly.
The relationship with him. And so took the pause, and it strengthened my testimony to really have a ministry. So again, you know what I mean? For real. If God gave you all that you wanted when you wanted it, truthfully, I got into pageantry because I needed to get out the bed and have something to look forward to, get up to a show. So I did the Miss Kappa Alpha Psi pageant. I came in second runner-up, which is third place.
Okay.
And I honestly could have been done. My bigs were waiting on Miss Hampton for me, but I was like, okay, we did it. Okay, great.
I just had this image of school days come in my mind when you said that.
Right, they was waiting on it for me, and I was not. I was like, okay. I would have been done with the Kappa pageant, and then I did Miss Hampton a few months later. I would have been done with pageantry. Like there was nothing. I liked advocating, but I've gotten so involved with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention that I don't need to compete anymore to do the work. I'm getting up there. I'm working with people. They know the name.
Got your end. You don't need to do that per se. No, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't have to turn it on. And so it's been rewarding to see how it's still necessary. You know what I mean? Because if God gave me Miss Kappa Alpha Psi, I surely would not be Miss North America.
Come
I
on
wouldn't
now.
have the platform in the same year span
Mm.
where the topic of suicide prevention in pageantry is
Yes.
actually being heard.
Yes.
So,
And I love the fact it really shows that my previous slogan, when we had the show previously, was "Your grit, His glory." And when I say that, what I would always mean was the fact of he takes what's going on and uses it to glorify him. For those that haven't figured out by now, me and Connor know each other because we were classmates at Hampton University. You know, Onyx 10. You know, all day. We were in choir together. She did 4 years. I did 3. As a result, it's definitely the fact of God uses anything. Crazy enough, I did not want to go to a school locally because a lot of people don't know this about me. I'm born and raised in Newport News, Virginia. I currently live in Hampton, Virginia. Newport News and Hampton are like this.
right. You ain't go too far.
You walk into
you went to
one, then
Walmart.
you walk into the other. You a step and you in the next city. So I did not plan to go to a school that close to home. Don't tell nobody I said this. I at least wanted to get as far away as Norfolk State or Howard, which I actually applied to both. Don't tell nobody I said that because they will drag me. God put me where he wanted me. I'm blue and white all day. God put me where he wanted me. I'm a pirate all day, but I did apply. But God put me where he wanted me to be. And it was the best decision. Were all days happy days? No, it was college. You got personalities. It's a big old melting pot. Please, I saw somebody post about how, the Hampton girls be coming all done up and you come in and you in your sweats and leggings. That's true.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna be me in some Uggs next Friday or if they're gonna see some 6 inches on my feet.
Exactly.
Right now,
I'm trying to figure it out too because I said, you know what? I ain't poked my head in for homecoming in a minute, but we ain't had a real homecoming in a few years because of COVID and stuff.
Gotta go.
I'm like, I might poke my head through, but I'm like, am I gonna have to come through on my 10? Or are they gonna let me come through chilling? Because you know how they do.
Yeah, I'm icing my feet now. Okay.
Exactly. It's like, all right, I gotta come through for the Sunday service, so my Sunday dress gotta be on point. We're gonna do some boots. All right, if I come through for the bazaar,
Bestie, I hope you looking. I see Chantel in the comments. Hope you looking for your fit.
Exactly. Gotta make sure the feet is straight. But it's just the fact that God can really use anything. And I love the fact that as somebody in pageantry that you chose suicide prevention as your platform. I remember when I'm having a bit of a brain fart moment. Forgive me, you all. But it was the year when all 3 of the major winners were African American, and then I think less than a year or 2 later, one of them committed suicide, and it shook everybody because she had reached one of the highest places a lot of us as women, especially women in the Western culture, would think to reach, and to think that she was not happy and things were going on. It shocked everybody, but money and fame does not always equal happiness. It doesn't always equal contentment. And I think especially, we millennials, but I think when you really get into Gen Z and people younger than us, the idea that if I get this, this, and this, I'll be happy. And then it's like, no, that's why a lot of these big celebrities, they do have their therapists. And you'll see times where they'll get off social media for months or a year at a time because they need time to regroup. You have everybody looking at you. Everybody is in your business. You can't really live your life, so to speak. And crazy enough, with social media, it's not just the celebrities. I feel like, see, this is my minor in psychology coming up. I took a minor in psychology. I feel like with social media, it's not just celebrities that feel that now. We all feel that to a certain degree because it's the thing of always having to be on. Always having to be on, always, having to make sure everything is good to go. And that's just not life. That's not life. That's not accurate. That's not facts. Even the perfect man that walked this earth had rough days. Jesus Christ, if you don't know who I'm speaking of. If he had rough days, I know I'm not exempt. It's just not going to happen. But with pageantry, I do want to touch on something really quickly. For those that do not know, I recently locked my hair. I got instant locks. Right now, they're braided back in some barrel rolls, and I had a little vacation hairstyle I had done. These barrel rolls are going to come out by the end of this week just so this scalp can breathe. But I know the last time we had Connor on the show, this was back when the show was under the name AG's Truth. We actually had her on the show talking about African American hair and the role it played in media and also pageantry. I've seen since then Miss Milan has gotten the micro locks. Am I correct? Or are they sister locks?
These are sister locks, my second
Sister
set.
locks. Okay, sister locks. I did want to ask, what was your experience, A, with your lock journey, but also B, I saw you posted a post in the last few months about wearing your locks in pageantry for the first time and the fact that you won wearing your actual locks. So what was your experience with that? For my lock queens that love the show. Please tell us.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to what you talked about being on, right? And the representation that brings, given the platforms. With 2019, we had 3, Miss America, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, all Black women.
Yes.
Wearing their hair. However, I remember Miss America one time had braids, had some box braids. And I was like, oh my gosh. But Chrisley, who we lost to suicide, had this long mane of hair.
Yes, it was gorgeous. I remember.
And your hair is the first appearance of beauty, the first representation of beauty to a lot of people. It's a preference, especially in the African American community. We take it as a badge of honor to wear our hair, however we choose.
Exactly. It's our crown.
However, in the world, beyond our imaginations of beauty, it's not always accepted, and people are not always nice. And what people don't see as a national or international title holder is that the smallest thing can be taken apart to make you question your character. And it hurts when it's close, you know. Now, I don't have to answer. I mean, I don't have that many people looking at me in that sense. I get a lot more in this position I'm in now. I get more of my brothers and sisters across the world reaching out because they see me Black and locked. On the podcast, when we talked, when we last talked about the hair and pageantry, I shared how my coach, when I started, told me, I was my first pageant with her. I was going to wear my locks, my first set of locks. They were longer. I cut my hair in a bob recently, so they're about like this long. I was going to curl them. So they're going to be here. It's going to be gorgeous. A little longer than the style that I won with, y'all. Like that thing, it was going to be nice. And I finally felt the confidence to do it. And she told me we don't bring a football to a basketball game. So if I wanted to compete, I needed to put on a wig or get a weave or something to compete with everybody else. And it stuck with me. Yes, it hurt my feelings, but that's the world that we were living in 2015. Okay. And I figured, you know, she knows best. I'm new to the pageant game. All right, fine. I'll do it. I wore a wig for every pageant since then. Last June, I came in first runner-up, which is second place to the title I have now. And I had a wig on. My hair was locked again. Mind you, I have had locks, cut them off, grew my hair back, and locked it again. Okay, so I have gone through this journey now. And so I had this wig on, and I would snatch it off every time I got back to my room. And as soon I woke up the morning of that pageant, I said, God, if this is my time, I'll wear the wig because that's who they'll know me to be. But if it is not, I can leave this wig here to be, because I feel like that you want me to be all of me, not give or take. Who do I see myself? Who do I feel that you have called me to represent myself as? Because locks are a spiritual journey. However you feel, is going on in your life, the hardships, baby, you will feel it in your roots. I'm telling you. Locs are a test of patience, trust in who's touching your hair.
Yes, Lord. Yeah.
There's so many things, but it applies to life, you know? And so I said, well, God, if it's not now, then I know you want me unapologetically as the image you have created me to be. Cool. So I told my coach that day, I said, I don't care what you say. If I return to a stage, because I didn't even know if I was going to do a pageant. I said, but if I return to a stage, you won't see a wig on my head. I'm not doing it. She said, okay, what are you going to do to it? I don't know, but I'm not wearing that. So Marley, oh faithful, when I tell you we planned for like last year as to how I was going to wear my hair on that stage.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Just so I felt confident in it. I wanted to embody the versatility that locks give, because people expect it to be just
there,
dreadful.
Yeah.
These are not dreads. My hair is locked. It's interlocked into knots so that it can show each one a symbol of strength. Okay. So I give these people, I'm like explaining, why I'm doing it or whatever. But by the time I got to the pageant, my headshot had been released and it didn't matter anymore. I didn't think my locks matter anymore. I was like, well, it's just my hair. This is okay. The only person stressing my hair at that point was me. Just, hopefully, the roller set dries. Hopefully it falls at the right place and I don't just have these stringy pieces come Friday. But I knew regardless it was going to work out. I didn't, the bun that I had for evening wear, that last, I'll have to send you a picture. You can post it if you want. But I pulled my hair back into this bun. It was gorgeous.
I saw the picture when you posted it and showed how you had did it, the tutorial. I was like, oh, that is mwah.
Yes, girl. And I think I saw that for the first time on Instagram or something. I don't know. But I tried it one time. I said, Marley, is this it? She said, yes. Didn't do it again until 2 minutes before I was on that stage. 3 minutes. I don't know. I sat on the floor with a floorless mirror, just throwing my hair up. No mirror in the back. Just, Lord, I hope it's all right. And it worked. All that to say, when you are showing up as yourself fully, it will shine through more than any effort you can put forth yourself. And I think that's what we're all trying to figure out coming out of COVID. Who am I and who am I going to be? Who do I want to be? Because I think this is a time for a reset altogether, whether you had the same job you had at the beginning of COVID, or your job isn't even who you are, like, what is it that you're living for, that you are? I cut my hair off in 2018 and I was growing it all through COVID and things. I colored my hair, I traveled, and I was like, I find the next person to lock this thing back up, please. Okay. And these locks are different than what I had the first time.
How so? Because I know they're sister locks. It's like a specific way it's maintained and everything from the
right. So my first time, I've always had natural hair.
Yeah.
So I had virgin natural hair. But when you're not in locks, you use all these products and things, right, to make your hair soft. The point of locks is for it not to be soft, in case anybody was wondering.
I'm happy to teach myself that, keep it in my put my products away. So yeah.
Right. And because when you're locking your hair, it's going to slip. Products and things will cause it to slip. Your hair creates its own oil, so you're supposed to leave it. Just leave it be. Water and go. That's it. Rose water, spray it and go. Don't touch it. Just leave it alone. Well, again, I had, so I locked it. I had 18 years of just loose, natural hair, right? And my hair was so my hair's thin,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so
So it's not dense, but it's
it's
very full.
right. The
Okay.
first time
Okay.
when I had all
Oh.
the products and things, and I had to, if anybody remembers me from like sophomore year of college or something, the pictures, people never believed it that my hair was locked because it just looked like some loose hair for a long time. It was so
I
just
actually do remember those. They were tiny, but now that I think about it, it actually was locks. Now that I think about the look of them, they were just the very
right.
small ones.
And it took a
Okay. Okay.
long time because I had my sophomore year, it just looked like strands of hair, but I'd already started my locks because my hair was so processed by products, not by chemicals. Anywho, patience, right? This time, my hair was used to not having products, and it is real rough. It is dense. Even with retightens, I can barely see my scalp. Look, you can barely see it right now. Okay,
That hair
it's
is
thick.
full, girl. That's full.
It,
That's full.
it's real. Okay,
You
I can
know I
wash
know
my
about
hair.
thick hair. We've been on the road before. You've seen my hair when won't nothing in
Yes,
his head.
and I
That
feel for you
afro.
now, girl. 'Cause this stuff is serious. I think it's something that I think is interesting. You know how we're talking about social media and like how it's a space of comparison a lot of times, right? I look at classmates from high school and things that are so like their kids are turning 6 years old.
Oh wow. Okay.
5 years old, 4, 3, 2. And I'm like, I'm 6 years in the pageantry. I'm 6 years in the advocacy. My 6 years is very different, you know?
I understand. Trust me.
And so I look at it and I'm like, my hair is different today because of choices like my choice of cutting it off and different growth things on my end. Where there are other people our age, their hair is different from carrying children and different things. And it's like we said, the image of what we thought things would be, right? At this age, for real. Like, tell me this, Amber, for real. Maybe yours might be different, but I know when I was in, like, I'm gonna say like the beginning of college or even by graduation, if you told me today that I would be single until married, right? Or just not married, no child on the way, nobody.
I thought I'd at least be engaged by now.
Right, you know.
At
So I
least
look at it,
you know,
right. And that then I don't know about you, but for me, even looking at it, it's like, God, you knew there was more for me. 1, 2, there's still more because I'm not ready. And I would say all the time that I am a wife because I know I am a wife, and I would say I just haven't been found. Now, the in between part is I am a wife. I've been found, but there's still a journey in between marriage, right? A journey in between becoming one. I think that it goes into people like us needing to use our platforms even more to voice the in between.
Yes.
You know, to voice what is not normal. You know, you can have these other things, right? You can have all these things and still be a wife and mother one day.
Definitely.
But when I look at it, it's like, Lord, send that 27, I ain't think we would be here.
Still no annulments.
Right. But if you think about it, for you, you have had podcasts, platforms, books. Like, you've done more. I don't know. I would think you've done more than you thought you'd be doing. Yeah. Just don't have what you thought you would have.
True. Very true. Things definitely turned out differently, but God is in control. And, you know, right. I'm trusting God with what he decides to do with that. And once again, don't put him in the box.
Right. Because there's more.
Know. Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's more. I tell people that all the time because when you think about what you want to do or how you think it's going to play out. At what point did you put him in the conversation?
That's very true.
That's I can say that's my testimony. I was good and locked in going into the pageant. I was like, well, okay, whatever. But I know I call warfare. I can pray anything down. I can this. And then it was like, oh, now what I do?
Oh, wow.
But even then I say, like, now what do I do? I probably wouldn't have had the warfare to the magnitude that I've had with the title if I didn't panic to say, Lord. Now I didn't even say, like, Lord, now what do I do? I said, what do I do? If I started it with, Lord, what do I do?
Exactly. You have to put him in the center.
Yeah. So I'm just putting myself out there as to where I messed up, and I pray, I really do, that we take heed to these lessons that we see on social media from those being transparent. Because a lot of times we just see the glitz and glam, you know?
Exactly. And it's not all that.
I have a problem telling people where stuff's messed up for me, so that you know that you can relate, that you know that your testimony still has purpose, even if you don't see it right now.
Exactly. And there's a process.
Comes with a testimony. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a process.
There's more to it.
Yes.
Right.
I remember when I graduated college, I was having a hard time finding a job in journalism, because I have a journalism degree, a bachelor's in journalism, area concentration in psychology. And at the time, I was being mentored by Sarah Gatewood, who is another Hampton alum. She also has a great show, Singles Walking in Purpose. She has a great show and platform. Go find her on here when you get a chance. Amazing work, amazing woman of God. So go check that out. But she was mentoring me, and I remember I was like just talking to her, like just kind of like having like a mini breakdown, just like, why can't I seem to get a job in my field? And like, you know, what's going on? I had thought I would move to DC, but then I heard God tell me, don't do that, stay here. So I'm like, well, God, why you got me still in my hometown and I can't find no work with the degree that I got? And I remember she said, well, maybe God thinks that you won't need him anymore if you get everything you want. And then she paused and she said, that's it. I said, what you mean? She said, no, just as I said it, God told me that's exactly what it is. I need her to keep me in the mix. And if I give it all to her now, she will leave me behind. And I was like, wow.
Absolutely. And like I told you, that happened. I would not be where I am now if God gave me what I wanted when I wanted it.
Exactly.
And that's even like currently. Like I told you, I quit my job in June. I told everybody I was not going to panic about a job lockdown until the end of August. That's what I said. I said, even then I can go back and sub. Y'all, we're like the end of October. And I had to say, Connor, sis, so where did you I realized God gave you so many things when I was with him. Everything was flowing. Even then, when it came down to pledging, I had the village praying because I had no strength of my own. No lie. Told you this. My third time too, maybe I was over it. Tired. It was like, I'm not doing this. But looking at it, even now with a job search, it just turned around today. But I'm sitting here, it took all this time. And if I had not
put some hand claps in the chat. Put some hand claps in the chat.
But I'm saying, like, if I hadn't surrendered to understand of no strength of my own, could I be anywhere? Could I do anything? I think that's something that all people should really think about. Like, hold that true to your heart.
Yes.
Of no strength
of my
your own.
You really do not understand how much. Yes, anything. Tasha Cobbs and Kiera said it. God can do anything. The power of Jesus. Okay.
Absolutely.
And you really have no idea how much our stories actually are a bit in sync right now. I just resigned from my position literally last week. And I was not happy at that job. It paid well, full benefits. It was good on that, but it was stressful. I was in sales, so it wasn't something that it's something I'm good at, but it wasn't something I was happy doing. You could be good at something and still be very miserable.
Right.
Um, and also,
Absolutely.
yes, and also they had me working weekends. As a result, I was not in church at all. 6 months, not able to make 5 services in 6 months.
Mm.
And I was miserable. I dreaded, and I worked from home. I still dreaded going to my computer. I
Mm.
dreaded. I would count the minutes and the seconds until it was time for me to get off.
Mm-hmm.
I missed my spiritual family, and some people, it wasn't even a cultural thing because I go to a bilingual church, so my church is mainly his people of Hispanic nature, Spanish speaking, but they're my family. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have that connection. I missed my church family. I would see different things happening. My relationship with one of my friends was still going well, but with the other one, it seemed like it was hanging on by a thread because
Right.
I was tired when I would get off work, and I'm not good on the phone regardless. But me tired and working hard, oh, you ain't getting no calls from me. That's something God has had to check me on. Like, Amber, you got to pick up the phone, baby.
Yeah.
You got this $1,000 phone. You got to use it for something other than your TikTok. Pick up the phone. But it ended up playing out where they gave me a choice of termination review or resigning.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to resign because it would leave less of a scarlet letter, on my resume when it came time to start applying again, when it came time for references and stuff. And this time I said, you know what? I got a couple more checks coming in. I said I could always start my business back up. I had my shirt business. I could always get that back going. I was making some decent money. But I said, you know what? I'm going to let God lead me in what I do this time. And I've been feeling
Yeah.
God lead me to try to do something more in my field.
Yeah.
I put in some applications, and I actually had an interview yesterday that went very, very well. That video that y'all liked from this page that had them 11,000 views of me walking out the interview, that was the video from the interview I went to. Beautiful place in downtown Norfolk, and right now I'm just trusting God. I really feel like that's the job he has for me. But even if it's not, I know God got better. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just the fact of letting God be in control, for the fact of, am I still healing from some stuff? Sure. But I feel lighter in the last week and a half or so from me not being at that job than I felt in half a year.
Child, I taught about 1,200 children
Mm.
in the last 3 years.
Mm.
I
My God.
don't remember most of it. That's how bad it was.
My
Okay.
God.
And when I say here we are, they're about almost 3 months into the school year. And I can't tell you most of what was happening. I was scared. No, I am a pandemic teacher, honey. Okay. So I started teaching before COVID hit and then through COVID.
Woo.
So
I see somebody saying they can relate. I don't remember their names ever.
listen.
You got an amen in the chat.
I appreciate the experiences, but I stopped. I remember my grandmother was at the house before I resigned, and I said, Granny, I don't want to sing anymore. And she was like, oh, no, we're quitting the job. Never mind. We can find something else because that's something you can't let go of. That's something God can't let you let go of. And I was like, okay, I'm just letting you know. I lost it. And so I'm trying to get it back, find what song my life is supposed to sing.
That's beautiful. And that
Yeah.
is definitely, I don't think people understand. We as people that have the gift of song, we singing is very much like therapy, but when you either lose the ability to be able to do that like I did, where because I wasn't at services, I was not singing with the worship team, and I feel that also played a big part of me feeling drained. But also when you feel like the gift is, how can I put this? When you feel like you're using your gift, however, it's not being used possibly in the realm that is meant for, it can take the joy and the peace, you know, out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's as singers, that's something we need. You know, for
Yeah,
most
I gotta
people
get it
that
back.
sing, we
Yeah.
need that to feel that joy. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I still, and like I said, being in Hampton was not perfect. I love my HIU. It was not perfect, but I still have fond memories of rehearsals up in Clark Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had a favorite song. I know a lot of the concert choir kids, we all loved the Battle of Jericho song. We would get that joker and start hitting the two step on it like we was in the club somewhere singing
Yeah.
classical music. But it's those little moments where you remember those little, you know, sparks. Yes, rehearsals. So you know what I'm talking about. Monet in the chat. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. But when you lose something like that, it hits, and it's
It
like,
hits
okay, I
different.
got to get that back. We can't have that. So
Right. Right.
I pray for you in that journey, for the fact of, I know how important
Thanks,
that is to
girl.
people that have that, people like us that have that gift. That's something we need.
Yep, we're gonna figure it out.
Oh,
No,
definitely. Shoot,
I
God might
haven't
pull an
even.
EP up out of this one right here. I feel like Connor might come through with an EP or some worship music after this one right here. I'll be the first one to download it.
Yes, I'm excited. Oh,
Oh, that's so beautiful, Kat.
fun fact, and then I'm like hop off of the topic.
Okay.
So Callan was the choreographer for Little Shop of Horrors when
I
I was at
remember that.
Hampton.
I remember that. I saw y'all did wonderful.
Thank you, thank you. Um, I'm different manners. Okay, so I that was my first musical ever, first
Hmm.
play ever. Apparently, when I was younger, somebody asked me to be in a show. I show up and they try to make me a tree. And
Uh,
so I was not having that. But
not
I
at
think he
all.
played Audrey too. Anywho, not the point. Yes, he did. He was in the little thing. Anywho, not the point. All that to say, um,
Yes, a tree. Not a tree though.
right,
Yes,
not
a
a tree.
tree.
I was not having it, but I said to say, when I tell you, the director, choreographer, the music director, everybody in that production sewed into me so much that I found another piece of mine and internal thing to continue in musical theater.
Okay, some Broadway or something coming. You know, we trying
Yeah,
to do some
girl, I gotta
Broadway. You
listen.
know,
It's
I'm gonna
it's
need
been
some. I'm gonna need some
interesting.
orchestra seats. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna need some orchestra seats. That's all I
Well,
need.
girl, we getting back on the stage. I'll keep you posted. I might be able to hear something soon. We gonna see. But I just think it's very interesting. You know, I got into it just because it gave me extra credit for my oral
Mm.
class. So I auditioned. And here we are. So small world. But yeah.
Yes, but it's great to hear about your journey and everything. I see you did your trip to Egypt.
Yeah.
I'm looking at our time. We only have a few minutes left, so let's try to wrap up on some positive vibes. Tell us about your trip to Egypt for your birthday, and then we'll wrap up with some final words that you have for the listeners.
Okay. Cool. I think I want to just, when it comes to my Egypt trip, I want to circle back around to the season of singleness because I
Okay.
know a lot of people wait to take trips like that with their significant other, more so your husband, because you don't want, pictures of some boy that, oh, I just can't even imagine not taking that trip. I'll see you soon. Okay. But I couldn't imagine not taking that trip by myself. I went to Egypt technically by myself. And that is something that everybody's like, what? Oh my gosh. But I trusted the company. I trusted my safety within their hands because I knew the CEO and sis was going to come find me herself if something went left. Okay. I think that it is important to do what sets your soul on fire, or instead of saving your money and your time for somebody else, do something for you. I think that is my biggest takeaway from the trip. It brings it all together. You know what I mean? It doesn't allow you to sit in your loneliness, because you're not lonely. You just haven't explored something that sets you on fire. You know, every day was a new adventure out there. I can't even believe I did it. And it's easy, y'all. Get on a payment plan and go. You know, it's so simple.
All right, payment plan. I'm putting that in my mental corner.
Oh, girl, listen. I will upintheairlife.com.
Okay.
You can plan a trip. I'm looking at like South Africa and Ghana and not Croatia. Man, there's another trip on it. There's lists of trips, and they're scheduled for 2023, 2024. I'm gonna wait till 2025 pops up so I can. Yes, girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to send me the link. I'm gonna need you to send me the link, because I got a 30th birthday in less than 3 years, so we might need to, come through. If we could put it on the clear or something, I'm with it. Let's go through.
We wait because we see a price tag on something, but if we can spend really. I don't know. I think about stuff in Chick-fil-A. Connor, how much you gonna spend on Chick-fil-A this month? Okay, can't you put that somewhere else? Yeah. Or how about this? How much money y'all putting into these homecoming outfits? Oh, but you can't put a payment plan and take a trip of a lifetime? So what are you investing in? We throw our money away to do everything else. And if we can travel to Vegas and spend a lot of money, then we can take it overseas, I was planning this thing, and I'm not going to put it on here because I know he's going to watch it back. But I was planning this birthday extravaganza. And then I realized that I could go anywhere for the amount I was trying to spend in the state of Maryland. I said, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Your ex is from Maryland?
No. Well, yes.
Girl, we got more in common than you think. So was mine.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well talk, girl. Yeah. But yes, so all in all, I think that the biggest takeaway is find your me time. When you're in a relationship, find your girl time.
Yes.
That is my newest lesson.
Say that again.
Because I'm not saying if I could be in his skin, I probably would have just crawled up in there, but that's not it. You need your girl time. You need your me time. And whatever the hobby is. My newest hobby, I think it really is traveling.
Wow.
I personally could do pretty well without seeing an airport for a while now, because I went from New York to Egypt to Vegas in the last month, and I'm just a little tired.
No, I feel you. I took a trip to Orlando. It was actually me and my mother, but we went to Universal Studios and got a trip in before the holiday rush. I wanted to get my trip in before the holiday season rush popped off, November going into December and all that stuff. And that whole airport situation is a lot, especially we had to go to an airport in Florida, meaning we had to get on like a whole subway to get to the parking lot after getting off the plane in Florida. It was a beautiful trip though, and it's something I'm happy I did. You need to take that time for yourself. It's like, you know what? It's a few $100s, but hey, I'm Locs now, so I ain't spending money on hair products. We can take some of the hair product money and put it towards that.
Right.
We do some more cooking at home, a little less eating out, do some couponing. We're going to make this work. We're going to have these experiences, get these experiences out the way. We're coming back, y'all. It's a little bit of loading. Give us a quick second. Ooh. All right. Well, we're actually going to be wrapping up in just a few minutes. We got a little buffering going on, so it'll just be a quick. It's been amazing. All right, there we go.
My fault. Technology, my fault.
We gonna blame technology. That's all we gonna do. We gonna blame technology. It's okay.
Yeah, that was mine. Okay.
But just some final words. What do you want to leave with the viewers on today? Some final words.
I'll do 3 things because it's easy to remember 3. 1, hope. That is my platform, helping others persevere every day through mental health awareness and suicide prevention. But the greatest thing about hope is that there is power in your testimony. And so by telling your story, it's actually saving a life, and that brings hope to others. So be fearless enough to share, even if you're scared, even if your voice shakes. Tell your story. So hope, light. Light is awesome. I mean, it's more so knowledge. So research the signs and symptoms so that you can see the symptoms in yourself and in others to save a life. But if you feel anything, if you have a hard time finding the light of help, get into some sunlight. Vitamin D is a free agent for assisting with mental health challenges. So hope, light, and lastly, joy. Find what brings you joy, no matter what it looks like, and whether that is joy for somebody else, whether it is joy to somebody else or not, understand that it is your shape of joy, your package of joy. Does not have to look the same as what everybody else has on Instagram. It shouldn't look the same because it's yours.
Exactly.
Just as you are called to be you as an individual. There is nobody on this earth like you. So find the joy that is designed just for you. Take in the light no matter where you are, and seek hope in all situations. That's it. Hope, light, joy.
Boom. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Well, we thank you so much, Miss Connor Milan Hancock, for joining us, Miss North America 2022. Yeah. So where can the people find you, first off, for social media you're following?
Woo. Okay, so you can follow me personally at Connor Milan, KHANNERMILAN. And then my title page at Official Miss North America.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. We thank you so much for having us. Is there anything that's going to be coming up soon? Anything we have to look forward to that we should keep our eyes out for? Anything we
y'all know I do too much, so let me have doing a private event on Wednesday. Hampton Homecoming. I'm in the parade. Come see me. Yeah. I'm going for a pretty big role in a show, so we'll keep people, posted.
Keep my ears to the streets for y'all. I got you.
If that one pops up for you,
I got
you. Yeah. So that's about. There's always something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I also use the hashtag Catch Connor, catch with a K. TCHKHANNER. Because I'm always on the go. So you'll catch my next performance more so by using hashtag Catch Connor.
All right. Well, we definitely will keep track of that. We thank you so much for being with us.
I'll
definitely see you next week at Homecoming. We might have to get a quick photo to remind the people we really do know each other. I'm not lying. I know big people. Standard of excellence. We all know each other. That's how that goes. But thank you so much for joining us on today. Yes, we have the hashtag as well as the ats in the chat. I might have to make Monet, make her the assistant girl. Monet, you on it today.
If you're looking for a social media manager, you can contact my best friend Chantel Monet Singleton.
Yeah.
In the chat, because as you can tell, this is what she does.
Yeah, okay. She on it tonight, boy. She on it tonight. There's a big old Hampton reunion up in this bad boy.
Yes, private assistant, whatever you need.
Come on
virtual
now.
Assistant, that's my girl.
Right there. All right. Well, we love y'all. We thank you so much for joining us. We thank you for being with us. And remember, This is Bigger Than Me, the podcast. Follow, like, subscribe. You can find us on social media at the official BTM Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and at official BTM Pod on Twitter. This episode, for those that missed the live, we will be also putting it on our YouTube channel, which you can also find using the link in the bio. And also the audio version will be on the podcast and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. We love you all. Thank you for joining us. And remember, this is where our victory is bigger than our fears. Y'all have a blessed one. Thank you for joining us, Connor. You all be blessed.
Bye.